morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a good old look at some old supporters. You see, ladies and gentlemen, that family card game set is coming out in Japan in the not too distant future. It's coming out on the 9th of July for anyone that's wondering. In the previous video a few hours ago, I showed you 6 new Pokemon Vs, including Appleton and Greninja, who are getting their first ever Pokemon Vs. And to be fair, I did tell you that the Greninja was not terrible, and the Cinderace was the best Cinderace we've seen so far. So they were not all terrible. But actually, the bigger news coming out of this family card game set is 3 new supporters. Now, we've got an actual new supporter in terms of Cook, we'll get there in a moment, but we've also got reprints of Judge and Shauna. They definitely have the same name, they very much look like they've got the same text, and it's very important to note that they have, unless I am misreading this, Regulation Mark E. Now, Regulation Mark E means that they are going to be legal for a little while. In, well, a couple of months' time, on September the 10th, we are rotating to Regulation Mark D onwards. In September 2022, we're going to be rotating to Regulation Mark E onwards. And in September 2023, we are most likely going to be rotating to Regulation Mark F onwards. What that means is, from the moment these drop until September 2023, Shauna and Judge are going to be back in the Pokemon trading card game, and this is genuinely big news. We'll get to Shauna in a moment, but make no mistake about it, Judge is the big one here. We like Judge. Judge has seen just a huge amount of play, and Judge has been out a couple of times in the past, alright? It's not a new card, that's why we kind of know what it does. It originally came around in Unleashed. It then got a reprint in Breakthrough. And it got a reprint in Forbidden Light. And it got a reprint in Lost Thunder. But we haven't seen it since it came around in Lost Thunder. Lost Thunder, incidentally, was the full art, which kind of kept it, well, that was the most recent version. But since Lost Thunder rotated, which was a little while ago, we have not had Judge in the format. And make no mistake about it, Judge is good. Judge is like a genuinely good, relevant card, which is going to see a whole bunch of play. Now, what Judge does is it makes both players shuffle their hands into their deck and draw 4 cards. It's good. It has always seen play, and I expect it to see a bunch of play moving forward as soon as it's released, as soon as it's legal. Now, the obvious question that a bunch of you are going to come up with straight away, so let me go for this right away. What about Marnie? In a world where Marnie is a thing, why do we care about Judge? And the answer is there are a bunch of reasons. Now, firstly, nobody's saying you can't play these together. And bearing in mind, they are both draw cards that also disrupt your opponent. So I think it makes perfect sense that we would want to have potentially multiple versions of them. So just straight off the bat, we can go for the argument of, well, hang on a second, that they are both legal, play both of them, play them together. But they're not quite the same card. Marnie, for instance, forces your opponent to put the cards on the bottom of their deck. Judge makes them shuffle into their deck. So what we see now is players doing things like using Oranguru to put a card they really want, something like a Boss's Orders, on top of their deck. The theory being that if your opponent plays a Marnie on their next turn, not only does Boss's Orders not go to the bottom of your deck, but Boss's Orders is actually guaranteed to be drawn off the Marnie because you put your hand on the bottom of your deck and draw a new hand. There are ways to play around Marnie like that don't exist for Judge. Judge is completely random. Not to mention the fact that that works for you as well. You might have your last copy of Boss's Orders in your hand and you need it in a turn or two, so you really don't want to put it on the bottom of your deck. You would much prefer shuffling it in and making it nice and random. And then, of course, we've got the thing of, well, let's go and take another look at Marnie, and let's go and look at Marnie's regulation mark, and Marnie's got regulation mark D, which means that Judge will now be in the format for 1 year longer than Marnie. So when I say Judge coming back is huge news, I am sure there are going to be a bunch of people out there going, why do we even need it with Marnie? And 3 big reasons would be, we've now got 8 of these that can be played in one deck. They don't work exactly the same, and there are reasons you'd want to play Judge over it. And Judge is going to last for, we imagine, 1 year longer. There are plenty of reasons why Judge coming back is huge. As a fun little side note, we've actually, for the past year, had Judge Whistle in the format, despite the fact that we haven't had Judge. It lets you draw a card or put a Judge from your discard pile back into your hand, and I very much appreciate the irony that we are getting a reprint of Judge back just in time for Judge Whistle to rotate out and not be used. I don't know why that amuses me so much, but it absolutely does. Make no mistake about it, Judge coming back is huge news. Shauna coming back, slightly less. Now, don't get me wrong, Shauna is still a good card, and Shauna is still absolutely a viable supporter that will see a whole bunch of play. But it's not a perfect supporter. Shauna lets you shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 5 cards. And some of you might remember that we only recently lost Cynthia, which was this, but you drew 6. And clearly, Shauna is just a worse Cynthia. Unless you really need to, draw 1 fewer cards so you don't deck out or something like that, Shauna is just a worse version of Cynthia. But we don't have Cynthia right now. So you know what? This'll do. And I'm not saying this is a phenomenal draw card, it's not. Shauna has been legal again a few times before. It originally came around in the X and Y base set, and it came around a few other times. We did get a full art version of it as well. It was last printed in English, I believe, in Fates Collide, which means, again, it's a card that's been gone for quite a while at this stage. And I love it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I don't necessarily love it because it's some amazing card that is going to instantly transform the game. I don't think people are going to be dropping Marnie and Professor's Research anytime soon. I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Shauna necessarily replaces those cards. What Shauna does instead is it gives you a bunch of options. It means if you really don't want to discard your hand for whatever reason, and cards like Professor's Research don't work in your particular deck, you've got more shuffle draw options. It means if you don't want to play something like Marnie to refresh your opponent's hand, you can play this. We've all Marnied an opponent who had a 1-card hand because we had to. Shauna makes you not do that. And then, of course, there's the argument that as it stands at the moment, Marnie is due to rotate out. For what it's worth, Professor's Research is also due to rotate out next year, but I'm imagining this will get a reprint at some point with Regulation Mark E. That is not confirmed, but it's a prediction. So if nothing else, this is setting us up for the future. I think Judge getting a reprint is huge, and even if it's not huge now, it is definitely going to be huge when we hit rotation 2022 and Marnie goes away. So even if you really don't buy it now, it's going to be huge in a year. I don't think Shauna coming back is on the same level as Judge coming back, but it is a competent draw supporter. It's not a great draw supporter. Like I've said, it's been legal plenty of times before, and it's seen a bunch of play. It's just not seen that much play. It's never really been more than a fringe supporter. I don't expect it to be more than a fringe supporter. Even though we can look to the future, I still think we're going to have better options. Shauna has rarely been the best option. Now, as for the new supporter card, this is Cook. And although this is completely brand new, I think it might be completely uninspiring. It's not good. It heals 70 from your active Pokemon. That's it. That's what it does. Oh, I should mention, translation from the lovely Antoine Boulet. If I ever forget to say the translation, it is almost certainly from Antoine. And Antoine is lovely. Antoine is not going to send me abusive messages because I forgot to credit them. But it still makes me sad if I forget. So if I ever do forget, it is almost certainly Antoine. But I will really try not to. So anyway, yeah, it heals 70 damage from your active. It's not good, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not good. I mean, we could compare this. The best comp we've probably got is Pokemon Center Lady. But Pokemon Center Lady heals 60 and special conditions. And it is from one of your Pokemon. So okay, fine. Cook does heal 10 more damage. But Pokemon Center Lady can heal the bench. Or it heals special conditions from your active. And this came out in Sword and Shield, so again, for at least the next year, we're good. I can see people playing it, especially in a world where Pokemon Center Lady rotates out, and you do just want to play a healing deck. It is a healing supporter. It's just not good. I mean, just the other day, I showed you Seabold, the Rapid Strike supporter, that heals 60 damage from 2 of your Rapid Strike Pokemon. And this heals 60, but only from 1, and it has to be your active. Admittedly, Seabold is Rapid Strike only, but still, it's just an example to show you how underpowered this card is. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I don't like Cook. I don't think it's a good card. But I do think that the reprint of Shauna is pretty cool, and the reprint of Judge is huge news. And I know I'm going to get a deluge of comments down below telling me that we don't need it because of money, but as I've said, there are 3 very specific reasons why, even though we have money, Judge coming back is huge. And let's be clear, I don't think people are going to start putting Judge in over Marnie. I do think Marnie is the better card. Largely, it gets you an extra card, and that's huge. I'm in no way, shape, or form telling you that Marnie is better than Judge. But I am absolutely telling you that there is plenty of room for Judge, even with Marnie in the format. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's over to you guys. I want to know what you think about these reprints and all of that, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.